Welcome to the Feral Minds Podcast. You are right where you need to be, and we are glad you're here. Come seek with us as we laugh at what we have known and find direction from what our curiosities demand we learn. So I've been thinking a little bit. I've noticed on the roads that paper plate drivers that are on this like vehicular picnic, they tend to have some interesting driving behaviors.
Paper plate, temporary tag.
Yeah, these are temporary tags. So somebody just got themselves a new vehicle, and I think they got 30 days.
Yeah, there's a transition period.
Yeah,
from transferring ownership where there's this limbo. Who does this car registered to?
Yeah,
this is the paper tag moment. Who's going to care about this car and put a real tag on it?
You got a window there, and then there's an obligation to get the paper tag, and then pay for the tag, and the tax and the title. That's all it works, right?
Oh yeah, tag, tax, and title.
Yeah,
well, there's three things.
So I've just noticed.
I try not to buy cars too much. I don't know.
I've just noticed, and we were talking the other day about some of the driving behavior that you can see behind a paper plater, and occasionally it'll have you screaming an expletive off your windshield every now and then. And you have a theory about paper platers that contrasted with my theory about paper platers.
Yeah. There's basically three kinds of plate people going, I suppose. You got your regular plate, your paper plate, and your vanity plate.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the differences you see between the three. And so you see like aggressive, exciting, whenever you're talking about your paper plate. You're talking about exciting driving.
Yeah.
Like somebody who's
they just got a new
cutting
car.
You off. They got to get down expressway faster than you. They're racing to that next red light before everybody else.
I would be mad at the behavior, but I look at the paper tag and go, oh, they just got a new car.
Yeah, they're in love.
They're in love. Time. Yeah. They're this, and it's a young romance, and they're in car puberty. Right, they're dancing with this new thing.
The first time they've hit this throttle, they want to hit the throttle too much. They've never had a throttle in their young hands.
I mean, you've had a teenage romance.
Yeah.
You understand the volatility is necessary. In a teenage romance, if you're not going brake pedal, like what? That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
So when I see a paper plate on the road, I just look at it and go like, oh, they still love that car. They're in the throes of puberty with their car. And that's the way I've always looked at it.
Yeah.
But you had a different take.
Yeah.
Which was what?
Okay, so what you're talking about is, like you said, a new romance, just got a new car, and they're in a probationary period with the paper plate. And now that speaks to the newness. Yeah. But now, when they actually get, so you're talking paper plates within the first 60 days, all right? When I start talking about a different paper plate person, I mean that one that's pushed this thing 90 days, 6 months.
Okay.
I saw one the other day.
They're on permanent picnic.
It was 10 months. It was March last year. And this guy ain't put a new tag on his car yet. It's like he's not quite sure he wants to stay with it. He just don't want to put a ring on it.
Yeah.
Because here's my theory with it.
So he's long, just to be clear, he's long in the papers. This is a paper tag well past its natural life.
Yeah, for some reason.
It's expired.
And then if I understand the whole tagging process, what you do is you go register it so you can pay the tax. The government can acknowledge that you own this fine piece of equipment, and it's going to be hard for anybody else to take ownership unless you let it go. But there's those ones who go and get a car. They ain't looking for a relationship. Like, you're talking about someone who gets this new car, they're in a relationship, they love it, they're going to stay with this car forever.
Yeah.
I need someone that just said, I want a car I'm going to get dirty with for a little while, and I'm getting rid of this thing.
Okay.
Like, I'm talking that kind of paper tag. I mean, when they got in the relationship with this car, they never intended to put their name on it to begin with.
So why do they drive like garbage? Like, what's your theory on why they drive like garbage?
Man, some of it's got because they don't care about that car.
Oh,
they have no intention of driving this car past 100,000 miles or 150 or wherever they're at. Because this kind of paper plater I'm talking about, they didn't go to the lot and buy the brand new Corvette. See, you're I'm in love with my new car person. They've got a McLaren. They've got a Corvette, the new Trans Am, whatever. Well, you know, Trans Am.
I wouldn't think anything nearly that erotic, but I get what you're saying. You're talking about down where they flip
That's
cars.
That's the jerk that's saying, hey, look at me. I just got this amazing car and I can't keep my foot off the throttle. That's different than the person who just said, hey, don't look at me. I'm driving a heap, and I'm going to drive this thing like crap that it is until it don't drive me no more.
So you're saying that paper never had the intent of becoming a hard piece of metal. Like, it was going to be paper. That was the intent of the driver from the get.
I think so. And again, this is me throwing
so
a theory
full outlaw. Like, they're instant outlaw the moment they buy the vehicle.
Yeah, and this is a whole conspiracy theory around paper tags that I've put together myself, but I think there's enough gas to it. Because you got to figure, you got these repo car lots. They're not in the business of selling cars to people.
No.
They're in the business of collecting payments until they can't collect no more, and then they go collect their car back. When you're in those situations, it's like a rental car almost.
Yeah. It's a weird, they have those lanes in town where you just see Sal's car dealership followed by Paul's car dealership. And those
You're not a car dealership. That's a car pimp.
I think that's what I was thinking. Like, I feel for those vehicles. Those vehicles are almost in some type of pimp game, right?
Yeah.
There's something going on the way they just get flipped the way they do.
And treated terribly during the engagement. Driven hard.
They got the
put up unpaid.
Paper tag throttled. They get paper tag throttled all over the city. But no, when I looked at a paper tag, first of all, we know their driving tends to be a little erratic.
Yeah,
right?
there's something.
And I had just given them the benefit of the doubt that, it's new. I mean, what is more volatile than a new romance? I mean, that makes sense to me. And then the outlaw that you speak of, I just think that's good intentions gone bad.
You think that they just maybe extended their credit too far and couldn't afford after
just
that?
like any relationship, it didn't play out. And so you had great intent. You made the down payment at bare minimum, right? You got to make a bounce down. Somewhere there's a down payment that's got to go down.
Yeah, they paid some money for this deal. Yeah. And now they're in a race with time. In my paper plate theory. Like, you got
this instant outlaw.
Yeah. You put down $1,000. Well, you're not instant. Remember, you've got that grace period. There's that whole there's still that fresh romance period. Those first 30, 60 days, nothing to worry about. But you go past that for whatever reason. Maybe you didn't plan to. Maybe all of a sudden you hit hard times.
I like the idea of that character that, like, he's just rogue. He's just going in. He's going to slap. What do you think? You got to drop $1,000?
Maybe
a grand, and you can get like an 85 Bonneville off the lot.
I bet the first time. Because you got to use your name the first time.
Okay.
And then it gets harder each time. Your down payment's going to go up. Because they know this game. I think that this is a game that...
Unless you have multiple identities.
Or you can start putting stuff in your girlfriend's name. You got some in your mama's name.
Cars.
Some in different people.
You could. I'm sure that happens.
You put some in your kid's name.
I just always...
It's a whole nasty game to be played.
When I see that older paper tag, I just think that... Now, I don't know why they drive like crap. I hadn't thought about that, right? I guess an older paper tag, you're right, that is in the setting sun of a relationship time frame. Mm-hmm. They're certainly not going to be that concerned about getting their fender up your colon. Like, they probably don't care as much. I agree with that. And
it's like when you're getting evicted from a repo house. Yeah. This is they're already expecting a car eviction. They're just hanging out in there until somebody comes and changes the locks on the door.
Yeah,
that's the sort of scenario I feel is going on with those paper tag situations.
Man, I had a minute,
and I would love to talk to. I almost want to, like, at the grocery store, like, see one and just wait out there.
What's going on with you?
Like, I mean, like, I ain't mad at you.
Why don't you love it on that car?
I'm just curious. Why did you get this poor thing?
Why are you letting the public know?
Never want to commit. Like, we all know you're just driving around a little car gigolo.
Yeah,
you just wanted to use it for a while until its pimp comes back to get it. You ain't never going to see it again. So, like, that's a hard way to live with a car.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like... I had this moment in the early 2000s when I was in college where I had a tag on a vehicle that it got a little crusty. And I was broke. And we're talking early 2000s. Man, I got paranoid about it. I'm peeking out the Venetian blinds of the apartment, just wondering, like, are they coming? Are they coming now? Like, where... And like
And every time a cop got behind you, like that cop was laser focused on just your tag.
I was
like,
living an outlaw life.
If you ever saw a cop, you instantly went into hide fear mode. Like I said, that's the reason I started wearing my seatbelt.
Whatever
I got
real
tired
crime,
of wondering if somebody was watching me.
Whatever real crime he had going on, I was entirely concerned about the $700 that I owed. So this goes on for about 3 months, and so I'd paid cash for the car, but just didn't have the tag, title, tax covered, right?
Yeah.
So I got no money. I'm basically waiting tables at this point in time. Dude, I'm getting paranoid about this. And this is how squirrely I am. I'm sitting in this apartment. This is a time when I'm living alone, right? I'm going to grad school, living alone, waiting tables. So I'm going from apartment to Applebee's, from apartment to, like, that's my life. Entire life, man.
You ask a real paper tagger, you get away
there.
with that for years probably if you ask a real paper tag outlaw.
Yeah, I was.
But was your first time to dip a toe in.
Man,
you were scared.
I was feeling exposed. And at that point in time, Dog the Bounty Hunter was on TV all the time. And I liked the show. I mean, it's such a cool show. You got this dude that literally looks like he walked off a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
Just smashing people left and right through the beautiful jungle of Hawaii.
Under the guise of justice.
Yeah.
Like he's like a superhero.
But when you got an expired paper tag and you got an intimate relationship with Dog the Bounty Hunter, you get a little paranoid. You start getting reminded of like, oh yeah, go dog, get that bag. Wait a minute, I ain't paid
I'm
that
one
tag.
of them.
I ain't paid that tag. I'm technically, man, like
You're in such
I go to
paranoia.
jail
You don't
for
know if
this?
you want to root for the bounty hunters.
It's such low-level crime. Like, surely incarceration not be involved. But it didn't stop the thoughts from coming, man. I was worried.
Yeah, we're all as criminal as our own guilt.
So
we're
Grandma-
all our own judge and jury in that regard.
Grandma helped me out with a little cash, and I got that state-sanctioned platter and moved back into regular life and was able to move on. But.
See, so now back to what we're with the three different. So I kind of, as we were talking about, I've got a little bit of a theory now as to where they go. How the plates, like if there's like a bit of a diagram where you can go.
Yeah.
So you start paper plate, and you've got a few different types of relationships that can go. Either somebody just came along for a little wild ride until the repo man comes. At the end of that 60 days, you're staying paper plate. Now you got the regular person who just gets a car. They don't have to say, hey, look at me, or I'm special or anything.
Yeah.
They go in and they get themselves a regular little plate. You got 3 letters, 3 numbers. Nobody cares. You've completed your action with the law. And then you've got the third type. And now these are where I think your paper platers end up. These ones that are way too excited about their new Corvette. And they've got to get the vanity plate. That's not
They
only
wanna show
I'll put
you-
my name on it, but I want everybody to know how proud I am of it.
How much taxes I can pay.
Yeah.
I got more tax money than they can even tax me for.
And now this is a little bit of a tough place for me to dump into, though, because I have to confess, I will sit here and make fun of the person who has to have that, hey, look at me car, hey, look at me vanity plate all day long. And then it occurred to me, 2 out of 3 of my cars, I'm running the same situation as a vanity plate. Now, it's different. It's not the, hey, look at me, you wish you could be me. Wasn't that one that you lined out? Like, that was pretty good. You wish you could be me.
There are,
like, you
man,
can
there's
put
something
quite
with,
a bit.
yeah, with sports cars, there's this thing where they're trying to make you feel like crap, and like you're reading the license plate, like you're not enough.
Yeah.
I catch you wishing you should be bigger. You're like, but I was checking out your cool car, man. Like I was looking at your cool car. It seems like that's enough, but now I got to feel like crap. Like you got to make me look at the vehicle, which was great. But now you got to say, like, I see you hating. And I'm like, well, I wasn't hating. I wasn't hating, bro. I was just trying. It's a McLaren. Like, I'm honoring.
It's
right?
like,
I come to you going like, wow, that's a cool car. But then you got to slap me with a vanity tag and remind me that I'm 3'12" and I'll never drive your super triple Lamborghini.
well, I honestly, as I hear the situation described, it makes you feel any better. I think the one with the Lamborghini is the insecure one. I think that you're probably in a better place.
It's like the insecurity
as a person.
Yeah, the insecurity just played right on through the ass into the car.
But if you're ever one of
here
those-
it is, guys. Look at it, guys. For real, this is how you do insecurity with disposable income. Look at it.
Yes.
And everybody else driving around going like, man.
It's like they crapped on the floor and it's not enough you smell it. They've got to grab your head. I mean, touch it.
Look at it. Like I was feeling okay on a Tuesday, man, with my Honda Accord until I saw you're not tall enough, or I got this done, or
See you later.
Behind a black Lamborghini, and I'm like, oh man, I should do more with my life.
Seriously, you gotta give yourself credit for being in a better place than they are. You don't want to be that person that has to try to show the world how great they are or how crappy they aren't through their car and their car vanity plate.
Yeah.
And that being said, all right, I do need to probably, like, my vanity plates, they come from a place of vanity, though. I ain't gonna lie. I do go get, because, to kind of admit, I'll dive in with some of these folks a little bit. I mean, hell, at one point I did own a Corvette. Another story, another day. But I do want a plate that doesn't match up. It does stick out a little bit. I do want a plate that
why do you
says
care?
something about me.
Why do you care?
You know why?
It's your arbitrary
in the
tax
name
number.
of the plate. I'm vain. I am vain.
You
now,
enjoy
I'm not
you
vain
enjoy
enough
vanity.
that I have to drive a car so much better than everybody else and then put a plate on there that says it's better than everybody else.
Yeah.
But I do have enough vanity that says, you know what? On my RV, I want the State Parks license plate on there.
That's who I'm repping. You're repping State Parks.
Yeah. So you pay a little extra.
Local set.
Yeah, you get this used to when you did the vanity plate. Because I've been doing this for a few years now. I've seen vanity plate laws change.
You were just tying up neurons with this stuff.
I got plenty of extra to spare. It don't matter. You should see what I do with some of the other ones I kill.
It's debatable if you're allocating the state park resource.
No, I'm giving to the state parks. It's the tax revenue.
You've been giving to the state parks.
Used to you had to buy 2 tags though when you wanted vanity.
Okay.
You had to get, and I'd done this with my Thunder tag.
You'd buy,
and that's what's
plate?
on my other car. I also have an Oklahoma City Thunder plate.
Okay.
And so when I had first gotten that, probably 2010. It was just a couple years after they came here. So I've been probably rocking vanity plate of some sort for about 14 years. What? And when you first got them, you had to have 2 plates. You had to pay the state, register 1 tag, and then say, oh, yeah, now I want this tag also. Now tie that vanity tag in with my other tag. It was an extremely inefficient process. They've streamlined vanity tags greatly in the last year and a half. Now you just got 1 tag.
Okay.
And you not only have just 1 tag, that tag's yours. Like, you don't leave your plate with the car anymore. And not to over-explain plate.
You are a wealth of knowledge on tax collecting resources.
I'm telling you, jack of all trades, master of none. I couldn't tell you any real pertinent information about that topic, but I could tell you a bunch of halfway interesting information that I learned.
Wow.
But that's it. So I've done paper tags for a long time, and I can't tell you enough how great the process is now.
Let me ask you just the psychology of a vanity plate. So it is there has to be a moment like this moment of bifurcation when you try to figure out, do I go bumper sticker or vanity plate?
What's going to make my car stand out? That's funny you brought those two together because
I know you had to cross that road.
I did. I also was a bit of a sticker guy before I started buying cars that cost more than $1,000. To make my 1977 Caprice Classic try to stick out a little bit and be more me, not so much my grandma.
Isn't that crazy? You got the worst car in the world. You want people to look at it?
Well, I want them to know that it ain't grandma's. It's mine. I guess, we're talking 19, 20-year-old mentality. I'm not going to try to defend too much of what I was doing, but I did, man. I had
what was it?
A 77 Caprice Classic.
Oh, 19, man.
And
2-door or 4-door?
4-door.
Oh,
how did it smell? Nothing good about it.
How did it smell? What did it smell like?
It smelled like the cigarettes I smoked in it.
Oh, okay. So you came. Well, that's kind of a standard, though.
I mean, in my 20s, early 20s.
Cigarette smoke can help some cars. There are some cars that need cigarette smoke.
You'd rather have the smoke than the funk.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I had an 82 Oldsmobile. That was my first one.
Yeah, you had that Delta 88.
4-door. Yeah. Smelled like a library.
A 4-door on yours, too?
Yeah, it was 4-door.
See, did you ever have a coupe from those late 70s?
No, and that silly thought you'd call something like that a coupe.
Oh, I did, though. I had
all they did was stretch the door and called it a coupe.
Oh, that door was
the same level of dead-ass iron. It would just – those are great cars to hide bodies in and sink them in lakes because they ain't coming up, man.
No.
That was so
they
much
were built
metal.
to last and rust. Yeah. That was it.
The thought of being – like in that car that was so big, I wanted to be tiny, dude. The idea of putting a vanity tag on, I wanted to put an anonymity tag on that thing.
Well, see,
I wanted a cloak of invisibility, so I could just drive around this bubble and nobody could see me, and somehow I could just magically pop up, and you didn't have to know that I drove this 27-year-old. You know, it literally was the car I grew up in.
Yeah, You got your grandma's car?
No, it was my parents' first car. And I stared at it from like, the downstretch when you're going from 13 to like 16. You're doing
when you got a date with that ugly
I
ass
was bouncing basketballs off my Destiny all the time. Like just sitting there staring at it. I think I took it out a couple times before it was mine. Some of that family related theft stuff that we did when we were younger.
When you were 16. Anything that rolled and you hit the gas, you felt that you were in. You weren't embarrassed to drive it around.
Yeah, I used to love.
I'll say that,
dude. I would love taking that car out when I was when I wasn't supposed to. Those moments, some of the greater thrills in your life, man.
But so I would think that you would understand that what I'm talking about, that distinguishment between this ain't my mom's car. See, look, it's got a Billabong sticker on it. It's a high school car.
No, it's a different.
Like,
it's a different interest, man. I think I had this incredible.
Put some speakers in it. It's mine.
I had this like raging entitlement that I needed a real car, and I was kind of at a high school that had real cars, and then I got the beater. And man, dude, I got clowned hard for that.
You got to make it a personality.
I
had the same thing. Like, you just got to own that hoopty, and you got to treat it bad. Man, my 78 78 Delta, that was the first one I had. The coupe just had that.
That's a great
door.
There
was the whole side of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit of a classic car now.
Well, make it a personality. Like if you've got, I didn't have that. That's a great take on that. Yeah. If you got a clunker, like you got something that you can totally turn the volume up on.
Yeah.
Because nobody cares about it. Why wouldn't you?
Get some unmatched hubcaps.
Own it as you. Yeah.
Do crazy. Like, but now some people take so far and they start spray painting. And at some point, I'm like, you've kind of killed the integrity of the clunker. There needs to be a little bit of grandma's flavor still in it. Like, I don't want it to be lime green and red painted all over.
Yeah, it's hard for vehicles to wear spray paint.
Yeah,
it doesn't sit very well.
No, they don't wear stickers very well either.
No,
to get back to that point. Because that was funny, man. When I look back on the 77 Caprice that I was stickering up, because you put stupid stuff on there from Oklahoma, like Quicksilver, like waves, like you're surfing. You mentioned before
bumper stickers?
Yeah. No, with the stickers on the cars. You mentioned before, like when I look at that car, I wonder what they're trying to tell me, and it's made me reference back to the time I had like 6 stickers on my car.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to remember what they all were. And I'm like, God, I guess I was trying to tell you that I wish I could surf, but I don't.
Yeah.
I like to listen to 311 was one of them. I bought a wallet that had a Billabong sticker with it, so I put a Billabong on
Always a low bar. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, I don't remember all of them, but
if you're going to talk to the world out the ass of your vehicle, like if that's an important platform for you, I think vanity tags are a sign of restraint. Sign of responsibility
beyond the sticker.
When you get into stickers, man, people get real confused on the identity, right? And you'll look at it and go like, so you like granola and skateboards and you shop at REI.
Oh, and you've been to here.
or Trump is going to save the world from the back end of a volcano on a Tuesday morning. Pray now.
Oh, I love it with the headband on and the gun and the machete in one hand.
It's an interesting choice when you lace up a vehicle with bumper stickers and what graces it. And you got to believe over time the bar is going to get lower. You penetrate that first penetration with a bumper sticker. Yeah. So
like
1 to 2 is probably a pretty good gap. But I bet like 10 to 50 happen on you in a couple of weeks.
It's exactly like
One
that.
stop at Love's, man. All of a sudden you got 40 extra stickers you got to go slap on.
So you got a sleeve down your arm.
Yeah. It is kind of
fender's covered.
It's a tattoo for your car, but
that's what it feels like.
It doesn't even have the permanence of it, right? It's going to fade. It's going to roll off the side. And I don't know. I appreciate people's ability to express themselves through cars.
Yeah.
And it's funny how they do it. It's funny to observe it and go, I wonder what they thought about in that moment. And, bumper stickers can allow for a lot of roaming thought, for sure.
Yeah, bumper stickers will tell you, hey, stay back from this person. I think also what their car condition. You ever driving around the road?
How salty they are.
You see somebody that's already got the front of their car dinged up.
Yeah.
Go ahead and let them get by you.
Do they
don't want to be in front of that person.
They wouldn't have a paper tag, would they?
Find out they got a paper tag.
I'd love to see the stats on paper tags. Wouldn't that be fascinating?
I only assume they've gone up.
Like the world has to know that this is
a problem that's growing.
This is the erratic behavior in paper tag. The world has to have seen that at some level, you'd think, right? Somebody aware? Somebody watching that?
Does anybody care? Is there any money to be made in it?
Should we care?
I think we care in the sense that we stay away from, like, to start watching them out as drivers, to know there's a good chance if you got a paper tag, you're not going to treat that car like it needs to be driven.
Yeah, I don't know. I still like. I I salute them. I understand the volatility that is involved in something new. And, for the desperados, the ones that are out there trying to figure out, will it be popo or repo? Man, I just wish you luck, man. I hope you find, greener grass.
Hey, and on the vanity plate, guys, hey, go ahead and get your "Hey, look at me" on, but don't be mean while you do it. You don't have to insult the others around you with your vanity plate.
I think you should. If you want to speak out the ass of your vehicle, speak.
It needs to be uplifting. But then again, if they were uplifting people, they wouldn't be so insecure they're spending all their disposable income on fancy cars and vanity plates.
But maybe they're giving you something to aspire towards. Maybe you will have some type of nonverbal fart at your vehicle. You can show the world. I mean, if you just work a little harder.
I try not to make too much fun.
You need to become more billable.
I know.
Make more billable.
I know. I know I could learn from this too.
All right. Well, thanks for visiting the paper tag conundrum that I have.
It's all the plates. If you have a curiosity you would like to chase along with us, call the Thought Line at 866-340-3394. Again, 866-340-3394.